Hi, friends.
Hello.
Welcome back to Talking Tandemist with Jenna and Curtis. If it's your first time listening, not welcome back, but hello. The purpose of the podcast is honestly to try to build a community, to make people feel like they have friends and just record our normal conversations so that someone on the internet gets enjoyment out of Curtis and I's conversations. Right?
I really feel like I'm dead tonight, and the only thing going through my head is the more energy, more passion, and that's it.
You sound like you're dead, which is usually me. So we've switched spots. 1 second.
Oh,
Okay.
I almost forgot to do my Duolingo. Keep talking.
What language are you learning?
I was doing Japanese, and then I
I'm
kind of
doing French.
was like, I got paused in my brain, and I haven't gone back. So I've been doing math.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah,
So we
I'm
usually
on
start
cubes.
we usually start with how was your week, but I don't like your responses anymore to how was your week. So
I don't either.
I'm gonna ask a new question, and if you don't know your answer, I'll go first. What is the most exciting thing that's happened this week?
I went to the movies.
What'd you see? More detail. Come
I
on.
saw the new Sonic movie.
How was it?
It was pretty good.
I know nothing about Sonic. The only memory that I have of Sonic is we went to a barbecue when I was like 7, and they were playing like the old school Sonic game, like on like the old one, and that's the only memory I have of Sonic.
Pretty good. No, it was a good movie.
Did you
Jim
go by
Carrey
yourself?
came out of retirement. Oh yeah, I did. I don't have anyone to go to the movies with.
Fair, me either.
Jim Carrey came out of retirement for it, and it's a good movie.
Well, that's good. I saw there's these people on TikTok that he's known as Uncle Bob.
Mhm.
I don't know if that relates to anyone, but he's like this. I'm going to say it in the nicest way. Like, he gives like the Machine Gun Kelly, Pete Davidson vibes, if you get that, what I'm talking about, like the I eat cigarettes for fun type vibes. He gives those vibes, but he has a niece, and they got invited to the Sonic premiere. The Sonic? Right? That's the word? They got invited to the Sonic premiere, so that's the only reason I knew that movie was coming out.
They're good movies. Even just as movies, they're good movies.
Yeah. I could tell you about my exciting thing.
What's your exciting thing?
I can't cook a lick, but
Okay.
I am trying to make a sourdough starter.
Oh,
Which-
you're making bread now.
I am on. Well, actually, it started with making butter. So I really wanted pancakes on Sunday morning. Usually Sundays are breakfast days, but my parents are away, so I had to provide my own Sunday breakfast. So I wanted buttermilk pancakes because they're just like notoriously better than normal pancakes. They're just like sweeter, and they're just phenomenal. So I wanted to make myself buttermilk pancakes, and I went to the store to get buttermilk, and it was like $10 for a carton, and I wasn't going to use a carton of buttermilk. It would go bad by the time I'd use all of it. So then I was like, why don't I get a thing of heavy cream and I make butter, and then take the butter, milk that comes out, and make pancakes. So I made butter, and then made buttermilk and made my pancakes. Phenomenal pancakes. They tasted like McDonald's flapjack pancakes. Like, so good. And then I was like, that was fun. What else can I do? And now I'm on sourdough TikTok. So I had all the ingredients. Like, all you need is like flour and water and a slight bit of patience. Debatable on the patience side. But I'm attempting to make a sourdough starter, but it takes like 18 days. So I figured, so it's between 11 and like 18 days before you have the actual starter. So, because sourdough, it's like essentially like fermented flour and water that you have to like feed, and it's kind of gross, but it's supposed to be good for your digestive system. Yeah, essentially. I've kept Davis long enough.
Like a dog you can eat. Although you could eat your dog. Am I wrong?
Yes, don't ever repeat that. That's no.
What part of my statement is wrong? You gotta feed it, you gotta take care of it, you gotta water it, and then you eat it.
Curtis, if I ever catch you eating a fucking dog, we're gonna have major
Oh, whoa,
issues.
whoa, whoa, whoa. I never said I would eat a dog. I love dogs. I simply said it's like a pet you can eat.
Okay. Well, I started exactly 14 days before I moved to Charlotte. So I'm hoping that I can make sourdough in my new apartment. But we're going to hope that I can keep this thing going. But it looks like it's going good right now. I'm like trying to keep track of like the people that made it on TikTok. Yeah, that's
It's an interesting one.
I feel like I always come up with, well, not I feel like, when I talk to people about my little quests that I do,
Uh-huh.
they're like, "You are a character, huh?" And I'm like,
You're something.
do I not look like someone that would be on wild
Making
quests?
sourdough? No.
Really?
No, you don't.
I love sourdough though, so if I can make a good loaf of sourdough,
I
I'll
mean,
be super proud of
who
myself.
doesn't like sourdough?
Yeah, it's so good. Ugh. Yeah. Other than that, I'm literally living in chaos. I can't decide that it's a mess because I'm trying to pack or it's a mess because I don't want to clean. But
It can be both.
no, it 100% both. Like I had to take down my bookshelf, so I just have books piled in the center of my room mixed with boxes and boxes of things. Like I have a coffee maker in a box and pots and like all of this stuff. It's just a disaster. Like it's a mess. I know where everything
Sounds
is
like it's
though.
fun.
It's an organized
Well,
mess.
that's good. That's the important part.
Yeah. So I saw this TikTok and we're going to jump into like the sentimental part early because so I can't tell if it's because I'm moving out so my emotions are like heightened because I know like this time is coming to an end or I'm just being how far into the we're 7 minutes in, or I'm just being a bitch, which it could just be that I'm like being a little bitch and I need to get my emotions in check. But I saw a TikTok of it was one of those ones of like the police officer cameras on their like on their body cameras and
Yeah.
it was a police officer walking up to a special needs woman in a wheelchair and it was pouring rain and she was stuck in the grass and have you seen it and she's crying and he's like
No.
ma'am, like do you need help, what's going on? And like she's visibly special needs. It was labeled as a special needs woman needed help or something like that. Like I'm not passing judgment, but she was so flustered she couldn't get her words across. And then when he like was getting her to calm down, she was like, the bus driver just drove past me and it's pouring rain and she's in an electric wheelchair. And she was like, I was just trying to get to the shelter over there, but it was like uphill in the grass. And I watched the whole series. It was like a 5-part thing. And it made me super emotional and I cried because like I can't imagine being in that situation. Like how like helpless you feel. And then he was like, there's a reason for this tangent. Okay, I know I'm on a tangent. But he was like trying to find towels for her and he was like, I don't understand why no one could help her. And then he was like, ma'am, like let me bring you home, you're soaking wet. And she was like, I can't go home, like my mom's gonna whoop me. Like she was wherever she was going, she was adamant that she was gonna go there soaking wet. She was just trying to get like one of those MCAT buses, I think they're called, where the wheelchairs get on because she just needed transportation. So she was like, can you get me this bus, I have to go to the store. So I'm sitting there sobbing, and in my utter chaos of sobbing, I had the realization that there's not enough people that understand the mindset that, like, it doesn't cost you anything to just be nice and lend someone a hand. And, like, even in that situation, it might put you out of your comfort zone, and everyone thinks of the worst of, like, oh, what if they press charges? But if you see her, like, stuck in the grass in the rain, and you're just driving past, or like the bus driver that like splashed her with water driving past, like it doesn't cost you anything to just do like the littlest bit of help. If you see someone struggling, hold the door open. Like it's such little things that like make and help other people's days. This was like notably like in the when I was in Prague, public transportation is like their main source. Like no one drives cars. They take the subways, they take buses, they take the trams, and all of these things have stairs. And it's known that if you see a mom getting on with a stroller, you don't ask to help, you just grab the front of the stroller and help. And that's like, that's their culture. Like, it's such a normal thing. And even something as little as that, like, we don't do in the United States. Like, you don't see people helping when someone, I don't know, is struggling even in the slightest bit. And I think it kind of shows in our culture.
I would say that probably part of that comes from we have a culture that people want to be very independent, and I think there's a lot of like I can do it myself mentality, and so people are less likely to help out due to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we do preach independence, but I just think, like, I am probably one of the most independent people I've ever met, which says a lot. Like, that's so cocky to say, but like, I truly am one of those people that's like, I don't want help. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want, like, it takes me failing 15 times to get to call for help. Like, I do not do well with any sort of that. And I think if I was in a situation where, like, I'm in a grocery store and my bag breaks and I'm trying to panic and pick everything up, for someone to stop and be like, let me help you pick that stuff up, me being a super independent person, I think I'd be like, still, thank you. Oh my God. Like, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are some people who would be like, no, I got it. But I don't know.
Yeah, but then even in that situation, like, okay, so you say, can I help you? And they say, no, I got it. You still asked. Like, do you know how many people, like, don't even ask and just turn a blind eye and keep walking? And, like,
Yeah.
I had a conversation with someone about this. I'm sorry. I'm, like, stuttering over my words again. It happens every time we record. I was talking to someone about this, and they were like, there's no point in asking, though. Not that many people need help. And when I was talking to my mom about it, you'd be surprised how many mothers in a situation would accept someone's help. Like, if you're approaching it in, like, a safety manner, like, if you don't be, like, creepy walking up to someone's car in a parking lot, obviously, no. And, like, don't obviously ask to, like, hold someone's kid. But if you're seeing a mom, like, trying to load water into the cart and she's struggling, like, being like, hey, do you want me to help you with that? Like, it's a second of a question. If she says, yes, thank you, then, like, you do it because you're able to and you don't have a problem. Like, I don't know. I think it's changed my whole mindset, especially seeing that video. Like, it affected me so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
My TikTok's very different.
I know. When I was in another cultural thing in Prague, so when the trams are full, like, you end up standing a lot on the trams and the subways. But if someone gets on that has little kids or is visibly older than you, so we're talking about like 60 plus, like visibly, not like, oh, this person looks 25, I'm 20, let them sit down. But like, if they're visibly older and or have kids, it's a known thing that you ask them if they want their seat, and no matter what their response is, you get up. Like, if you're an able-bodied person, you don't stay seated, you let someone else sit. And that was actually a big question when I was in Prague, because it was early in the morning and this woman had a bunch of her kids. So I was told this on day one by my Czech instructor. She was like, it is a custom, like, you do not stay seated. And we were getting a train to like the airport or something, and a woman got on early in the morning with a bunch of kids, and I was like, do you want my seat? And she was like, no, and she was adamant, but I got up anyway and she took the seat. And my friend was like, did you just get up because you felt like it, or like, how did you do it? So then I had to explain what was going on to my friends, because it's like, not, it's second nature to everyone else, but not second nature to us.
I mean, it used to be a thing here.
Yeah, I think we've lost it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that just...
in also certain situations, we are on, I don't want to say it's because we live in a dangerous society, but I think it truly is the heightened fear of people of like what goes on in the United States that causes it as well. Because, like, for example, if I'm walking to my car, I notice every single person in the parking lot. I have eyes everywhere. I have like my keys in my finger. Like, I don't walk anywhere comfortably, or like, I don't know. I feel like we're always on edge. So it's not normal for us to ask for help, because like, if someone were to walk up to me in a parking lot, and ask me to help me load my groceries or something like that out of pure spite. Or like if I've fallen and someone comes up to me, I'm assuming they're stealing from me, which is probably not the best outlook, but I think it's the way that we've had to handle things because of the society we live in.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So now we can shift to my message to myself in the group chat, because it is staring at me in the screen. So during the holidays, which my sister's boyfriend is downstairs because they've came to visit. So if he can hear this, he's going to laugh. But so we had a discussion about the difference between proof and evidence. So when something is proven and when there's evidence that supports a claim. Because, so the idea that was proposed to me was, how do I explain it? Like me and you can never say that it's been proven that gladiators fought in the Colosseum because we've never seen it with our naked eye. But my claim is, I think that is proven because we have so much evidence to back it up that there's not a shadow of a doubt that happened. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Both sides make sense.
I was going to go with, depending on the context, there's synonyms.
I agree. Not evidence and proven, but having enough evidence.
Well, evidence and proof are synonyms. So, evident and proven would be the same thing.
People say there's evidence to flat. We talk about flat Earth so much. But
you bring it up. I'm starting to think you're a flat earther.
I'm not a flat earther. I swear on everything. I am not a flat earther. But it's like the one conspiracy that is so outlandish that it just is always brought up. But there's flat earthers that say there's evidence that the Earth is flat and that there's an ice wall that surrounds the Earth.
They also say there's proof of that. Like, they say this proves the Earth is flat.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. Okay, so the term proof and evidence. I'm talking about, like, if something is proven to be true. So, like, we've proven that gladiators fought in the Colosseum.
But then you need to look at the word evident, which is, I forget the term, it's the proven form of proof. So what proven is to proof, evident is to evidence.
Yeah.
So you're just comparing the same words just in different forms.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was, because, it was like a long story, but essentially I was like, I believe that I can say that I think there's a lot of proof for things that, like, I've never experienced the Black Plague, but I know that it's been proven that the Black Plague was a thing. Yeah. But that was a discussion that we had.
At that point,
it went to like
then does the moon exist? Can he prove that the moon exists?
Yes, because he can see it.
Can he? Can he prove that it's more than just a light bulb in the sky?
Fair. It's like how far do you take that?
Right. So I don't know how, but I ended up on BookTok.
Oh, I love BookTok.
But like, not like my BookTok. Like
Brandon
Smut
Sanderson
BookTok.
BookTok?
No, Smut BookTok.
You ended up on Smut BookTok?
Yeah, I don't know how.
Are you gonna read a smut book?
No. I've seen the pages, and that wasn't smut.
Huh?
One of them, my headset died.
I was gonna say, did you just cut out? Because I missed that large section of that.
So one of them, one of the TikToks, it was talking about, and I don't know if you've read it, icebreakers.
I've read it.
That's not smut. That's just, it's just straight, you know.
I was gonna say it's not smut because if you calculate the pages of smut to the rest of the book, the pages to the rest of the book, I think it's only 3% is actually smut. So it's actually not considered a smut book. That's just romance.
Oh, okay.
That is tame compared to what I've been reading. Like, insanely tame. Like, people say Icebreaker shouldn't even be considered smut.
That's
It's like
insane.
the 18-year-old version of the books.
That's just yeah, no,
How did you
that
end up
one's
on
weird.
BookTok? Did you only see
I don't know.
Icebreaker? There's probably so many other
No, there's
books.
another one that I saw that I don't remember the name of.
Yeah,
But
Icebreaker's
that's the
so
one that's in
tame.
my head because that's the
And the
one that
fact that you say
actually came up with a
that's
page.
like actually not even. I think there's only like maybe 2 chapters of smut in that book.
I think it's like page 163 is like the page that everybody said was like the big one.
I don't know. I read it on Amazon on Kindle, so I don't have the
Yeah.
book directly.
Oh no, it's the very descriptive page.
They're all descriptive, Curtis. That's called writing.
No. No, it's not.
Yeah, it really is. I'm looking at all the books on the floor.
I'm talking descriptive in another sense.
If I were to grab the nearest
Mm-mm.
book towards me, your little pure heart would fall out of your chest.
That's a whole different classification.
That Icebreaker is just romance. It's not even like
Mm-mm.
proudly considered smut. I'm like shocked.
And that's crazy.
You read a little excerpt on TikTok. If you were to look at the whole book, it's actually, I mean, okay, so again, I think it's more like, I'm trying to think of the words. Like, I think Icebreaker is a teenage level book if they were to remove the smut. Like, the way it's written, I think it's very,
I feel like
very
most
novice.
of them are.
No. Can promise you that's not, because some of them get super high level writing. But Icebreaker, it's like it talks about like college kids, like very, very, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like 600 pages too.
There was more detail to it than I really thought there'd be. Like, I figured it'd just be like, oh, and then off screen. Or like, a little bit like less direct. Direct is the word I was looking for, okay?
Yeah, I can't find it, but just know that if you think that is a smutty book, start on an uninteresting book talk, because it goes from Icebreaker to reverse harems real quick.
No. I mean, I kind of figured that was the case.
Yeah.
I kind of figured that's what most of them were.
Yeah. So, did
But
you hear
it was more just how direct they were. That's what I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah. I mean,
I figured it would be a little like...
women can write.
I'm not saying they can't. I just didn't think it would be so like... I thought it'd be more... symbolism.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
So, did you hear
That's
about
more what I was trying to say.
Did you hear about the group chat that was discovered that has 70,000 men in it that were talking about how, when, and their stories about raping women?
No, I don't read the news.
That's so fair, because that, like, made me so scared and made me sick to my stomach. And, of course, it comes out, like, 2 weeks before I'm about to move out by myself into an apartment alone. But, yeah, that was on the news. But if you didn't read it, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd stay away from the news. My life is a lot happier that way.
That's so fair. The news is my life.
Yeah, no, it's just asking to be depressed, and so I don't.
Yeah.
And that's how I try to stay happy. Does it work? Sometimes.
Sorry, I think I'm getting sick and my nose is all stuffed. I realized that I was so much happier when Hamilton was the core center of my life. So I started listening and watching Hamilton consistently again.
Yeah?
Yeah, so like when I run on the treadmill, I just run to the Hamilton soundtrack.
Ah, interesting.
It's catchy.
It's just not my kind of workout music.
I know, but your music in general is not my type of music, and we've been over this before.
Did we talk about motivation? The TikTok I saw about motivation?
Can we? Go ahead.
No, did we?
Today? No.
No, at all.
When?
I feel like I sent it to you.
If you sent it to
You
me, I
don't watch
probably
anything.
did not see it because I do not open that
Yeah,
section of TikTok.
you don't watch anything that I send you. It's
Nope.
fine. I watch what you send
Not
me though.
you. Not you. It's not. I don't watch anything anyone sends me. Period.
Yeah. So for real, one-way street with you.
Don't do that. It is a two-way street, just not with TikToks.
Yeah.
Okay, so what motivation thing? You cut
Um.
out. You didn't elaborate.
Yeah. It was just like difference in motivation between men and women. Um. And like women's motivation is more of like, oh, you can do it. You're the best.
No, but we've talked. I don't know what you're talking
Did
about,
we?
but we've talked about this before, way early in the podcast.
I know. I was just more of a TikTok that was like going back to that I thought was funny, and then it cuts to a guy doing push-ups and it's just
You
here's
suck.
where
You suck. You suck.
No. It's much simpler than that. This is where Mark the episode is explicit. You're a bitch.
So true. So true. That's what we talked about this when I was running and I was listening to
Yeah.
that it was
Yeah.
I can't think of what the app's called. I completely blanked there. But we were talking about how it's like the athlete versus the non-athlete. It's kind of like the male versus the woman, whereas like men like being, in the nicest way putting it, which is so questionable, but men like being like berated and degraded while they work out, and women it's like, if you yell at me I cry, which is there's no like genetic proof behind it and there's nothing that goes along with that theory, but being a woman athlete that also did sports with male athletes, that's what I noticed is like if a woman athlete's coach screamed at her like the way football coaches yell, most likely there would be tears and or frustration and a decline in effort, whereas men get the most heinous things screamed at them and then somehow perform well.
It's fun. I find that so interesting.
Yeah. I wish there was a science behind why it's that way, but it also could just be how essentially we've been trained to feel. Like I've been trained to be told don't let people scream at you, and then when they do I get flustered. So
I mean, it could be it.
Yeah. How did you ring in your new year?
Asleep on the couch.
Did you not make it to midnight?
No, actually, I fell asleep.
Fair.
We worked half of that day.
I made it to midnight, but I was making my vision board for 2025 and writing my 2025 goals. So, I manifesting on the 31st. That's what I did. Which my parents walked in and they were like, every year for the past very long time, I've always been the one that's like out with my friends somewhere doing something chaotic. And they were like, the fact that you're home in pajamas just doesn't feel right. Last year, I didn't have a wallet. The year before, we spent it in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you were never home.
Yeah, the year before that, I think I was in Chincoteague, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably, because that was 2020.
Mm-mm.
No, it was 22.
21.
21.
Yeah.
Your comment. Oh, what did you say? That just reminded me of something. Oh, vision board. I saw this this TikTok from a girl who was like, I'm really mad at my boyfriend. He decided to go out with his friends instead of staying home with me and making a vision board.
Oh, jeez.
And all the comments were like,
Girl, get over yourself.
Yeah, you made the right call.
Yeah, literally.
I was like, that's...
Was it on New Year's Eve, or was it, like, on a random night?
It might have been New Year's Eve. It also may have been a
I would have
random
been
night.
like...
I don't remember.
If it was on New Year's Eve, I would have been like, girl, put your clothes on and go out if you want to spend time with him. If not, have a girls' night in and do it by yourself. Yeah. But I'm also a believer that, like, I don't think relationships should stop you from doing anything. So if you're in a relationship and he wants to go party and you want to sit and drink wine at home, like, go up, like, you guys do you guys. Like, there's no... Yeah. I don't know.
I fell asleep because I was reading, and I just was laying on the couch. When I lay on the couch, I get tired.
Fair.
And that's... I woke up at 11 and then, or at like
A.M.?
2 o'clock. No.
Oh.
Oh, actually, I think I slept on the couch that night. I woke up at like 3, 4 a.m., rolled over, and went back to sleep. And that was a good night. Every night, I've been sleeping on the couch a bit. Every now and then I won't wake up
Really?
till like 4 a.m. Yeah,
I
my
hate
sister
the
gets mad at me.
couch.
Oh, I love my couch.
I hate. We talk about this a million times. I'm such a bed person. I literally hate being on the couch. There's something about like not being able to curl up like you do in a bed that I would much rather spend all of my time in a bed.
Yeah, maybe it's just me not curling up, but it's nice.
Yeah, that could be it. I like being like cocooned in. Like I want all of the blankets. I want to be curled up in a ball. Even like watching
Oh, I do
TikToks, like
that
I'm
too.
most likely curled up on my bed.
I do that too. I just don't do that not in my bed.
Fair. So I move next week.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. No. It's Wednesday.
2 weeks.
I keep thinking it's Friday. I move in 10 days, 11 days. When are you going to come visit me?
I don't know. Let me start making money again.
Fair. I mean, you won't have to pay rent and I can make food because I'll be meal prepping anyway. And not rent. You won't have to pay for a hotel. Hopefully I'll get a couch
Right.
soon. So like the minute I get stuff done, you can come crash on my couch.
Right.
I
but
just really am so nervous about going down there alone if you can't tell.
I'm also assuming you're gonna make me go out.
Mm-mm. Probably not. I don't I mean like maybe like one drink at a bar just to like get you into
Oh,
the
like
city.
hanging out. That's more what I mean by going out.
Yeah, but not like I also am gonna be balling on a budget. I'm just like I have this fear like oh my god, I've never done anything fully alone like in my entire life. Even going to college, I went to college with my high school friends. I did sports with my high school friends. Joining a sorority, like I made friends with my one friend, like my one ex-friend really quick. I've never really done anything alone in a big setting. So just like picking up and moving down there, I'm like, how does one just make friends in a city?
I don't know.
When you don't work in an area where like you're exposed to a ton of people and I'm not going to be going to a gym, like I'm going to be working out like I'm like how do you make friends?
This has been my conundrum for the past. How long ago did we graduate?
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I didn't want to do it in my hometown. I was talking about this. So my boss that I had when I was an intern works with me at this company now. He's how I got this job, mainly how I got this job. He got on a call with me yesterday and he was like, "So I hear you're moving." And I was like, I made a joke and I was like, "Yeah, I figured it was time to move out of my parents' house." And he goes, "Jenna, you know, when people say they're moving out of their parents' house, they usually mean like the town over, not across the country." And I was like, "I know." And he's like, "So what pushed you?" And I didn't want to be like, I needed this for my career, but I also was trying to like we were talking about it because like I get personal with him, and I was trying to explain that for the past 3 years I've been telling myself, oh, like you're gonna start dating when you move out, or you're gonna start making real friends when you move out, you're gonna start like finding who you are when you move out, because I was so adamant that I didn't want to stay in New Jersey. I don't want any ties to New Jersey besides my parents. Like I love it here, but I don't want to spend the rest of my life here. So I essentially put my life on hold, and I've just been working for the past 3 years because I didn't want to do anything else. So now I'm like, no, it's time to actually like start. Like it's time to actually get your life going.
I mean,
Does that make sense?
it does, 'cause I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Is that what life's supposed to be? Don't ask me why I went British. My voice started to go one way and I went with it.
Yeah, I can't do a British accent, so I'm not gonna mock you. I think it depends on like what you want your life to be. Like I am not ready to settle down or like have kids or buy a house. I'm not even ready
Right.
to who knows if Charlotte's going to be my last city? What if I decide I want to move to Los Angeles? I'm not. That's the first city I thought of. But, like, what if I decide that I want to, like, move more? Like, I don't think I'm at the point that I've even considered settling down. But, like, my frontal lobe developed. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. I woke up one day and I feel like I have figured out where I'm content. And I think for a while I was like, I need to be like my friends that have boyfriends or settling down, or one of my friends is buying a house. And my frontal lobe developed and I realized that, like, that's not what I want. I want adventure and I want, like, is it bad to say that I like chaos? And yeah, so you just have to figure out what you want, because I don't think you know yet.
I don't. It sounds like what you were saying is you want that idealized single life.
I mean, no, because I wouldn't mind a boyfriend. Let's be honest. I'm fucking chaotic. Someone should probably come in and try to tame me down. But no, I wouldn't mind a boyfriend. But, like, I like in the single life in the sense of do what you want when you want with no limitations. Law-abiding limitations. Like, I'm not gonna go fucking streaking down the road, but, like,
you just want independence.
Yeah.
Like we had in college.
Did we have it in college?
We had more than we do now.
Yeah, fucking not in shackles. That's so bad.
Yeah.
I'm not in shackles, Mom, if you're listening.
I mean, that's what I miss. I don't know how to get that right now, because, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go to a city. I know that. Like, that's just not me. I like the area I'm in. It's just a matter of figuring out, you know, what's happening with housing prices.
So true. Going up. Forever, never coming down.
Yeah, that's the fun one, isn't it?
Unless you're gonna buy a house from 1820 where you're gonna have to spend an arm and a leg on lumber to rebuild it, they're just gonna keep going up.
I saw a 960 square foot. I'm gonna call it a shack. For $154,000.
Yeah, okay. So with that and my emotional level, I feel like I talked so much this episode.
You did.
But it's fine. I get entertainment out of talking. I'm a yapper.
I know.
With that, we can close out this episode because we're at 42 minutes, give or take. Thank you for listening. I did post 2 TikToks, which we didn't talk about in this episode, but I feel like might come up in the next episode. Yeah, so if you're a new listener, subscribe, like, follow, whatever you do on Spotify. We do post on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. It's Talking Tandomness, and then our individual Instagrams are linked in the bios, but I think we're both private, so probably don't follow us on there. Yeah, and thank you for listening and making it this far.
I don't know why you did it.
Why did what?
Why they made it this far.